My dear students, it is very much important to know that how to develop competency-based questions. In developing a competency-based question, it is very much important to gather some very important information. The information you have gathered through job description and other sources, combined with the applicant's background, will yield a great deal of data about a possible job match. So there are two concepts. The one concept is the information gathering through job description and other sources such as job requisition and job postings and managers and supervisors. And second thing is combining that information with the job applicant's background. If you would match these two things, that job applicant's background and the job description, then you would yield a very good results. Since nearly 3/4 of an interview involves asking for specific examples related to the past job performance, so no interview can be conducted without specific examples, and employers need to convert topics about which they seek information into competency-based questions. So this is a chart. Just look at the chart. These are 4 columns: stage, purpose, percentage of time, and level of effectiveness. If you would look at these 4 stages which we have discussed in the previous slide, was about rapport building. The purpose of the rapport building is put applicant at ease, and the percentage of time which we will spend in the rapport building is only 2%, and level of effectiveness of the competency-based questions is none. An introductory stage, you have to begin applicant assessment. You just will ask a very brief question about the verbal and non-verbal skills and about organizational skills. Percentage of time is little higher than rapport building stage, and it is just 3%. But the level of effectiveness of competency-based questions are minimal. Then is a very important stage called as the core stage. In this stage, the purpose is to gather information about job-specific skills, knowledge, behaviors, and interpersonal skills, and the percentage of time which we may spend on core stage is 85%. Just look at the percentage. It is the most highest percentage among all. And the effectiveness is also very high, because in this stage you have to ask questions which are related to the competency. So competency-based questions effectiveness would be very high in this stage. And then as the confirmation stage come, the purpose of the confirmation stage is to only verify the information you have acquired so far, and the percentage of the time is 5%, but the level of effectiveness of competency-based question on this stage is minimal. So then the closing stage come, and the last chance for interviewer to cover relevant competencies, and it is also a last chance for the applicants to show their abilities. So very small percentage, 5%, but in this stage the interviewer has a very high chance to ask more competency-based question, and effectiveness of competency-based question is also very high. So in this way, you can know that in what stage, what is your purpose, how much time you will spend there, and what is the level of effectiveness of competency-based questions on this stage. So the best way to develop competency-based question is to first list the primary duties and responsibilities of the job, just a listing of the job, and let's assume there's an opening for an assistant to the director of human resources. So sample tasks to assistant to the director of human resources are or can be is number 1, to recruit and interviews applicants for some positions, refers qualified applicants to appropriate department manager. So this is the first stage, that you have to recruit and interview the candidates which are not applying for a very high position, only for some low positions, and you have to refer those qualified applicants to the appropriate departmental manager. And the second step or the second task can be helps director of human resources to plan and conduct each month's organizational orientation program, because you are assistant to the director of the human resource, and your job is to help human resource director in organizing organizational orientation program. And number 3, assist in the implementation of policies and procedures may be required to explain or interpret certain policies. So now isolate the first task, recruits and interviews applicants for some positions, refer qualified applicants to appropriate department manager and refers to the list of competency-based lead-ins. So what you're doing here, you are just isolating the different kind of tasks. So first you have isolated the first task, that you recruit and interview the applicants, then you refer to the relevant department and refer to the list of competency-based lead-ins. So this is a way in which you can ensure that you are asking all of the relevant competency-based questions for any particular position. Then describe a time when you had a low-level position open for an unusually long period of time. How did you eventually fill it? Tell me about a time when you had more applicants than you could handle. And this is a second stage of the task. This is a second task, and you have to isolate the different kind of tasks as you have done in the first stage. So then we will talk that how we can isolate these particular tasks into the smaller tasks, so you can ensure that we will ask all the relevant competency-based questions.